morning, everyone. Not afternoon yet. I thought it's a lunchtime. I can smell the lunch from the cafe. But thank you for joining me today. And I'm Josephine Pond, Alberta's Minister of Cities and Housing. I'm very excited to be here today to make a very important announcement about how we are making affordable housing more easy and accessible. In 2020, Alberta's government conducted its affordable housing review, and following the review, and the panel gave us about 19 recommendations, one of which is to simplify the affordable housing system. I know the searchings and applying for affordable housing, and it could be sometimes quite difficult. When information spread across the numerous the source, and many that struggle to determine their eligibility, and then there's a complex application process. Alberta's government has made it a priority to fix this problem, and today I'm pleased to announce our new Find Housing online tool. It is a step that the source to help applicants finding house option, evaluate the eligibility, and apply for affordable housing. The tour guides the potential application through the process and connect them with the housing that works for the needs and also the budget. Using the online tours, Albertans can simplify the click through the questionnaire and then be given a number of the housing options and support tailored to their individual needs. The new Find Housing online tour was created within the input from the tenants, the housing provider, and the social service agents to make sure that it is easy and effective to use. So far, over 6,600 Albertans have access to that Find House tool since it is launched at the end of June. We have already made several updates, and we plan to continue enhance the source and over the next years. The Finding Housing tools is just one example of how the Alberta government is transforming how we deliver affordable housing. We continue to work towards the new visions for our affordable housing system. My ministry is working on a 10-year strategy plans to improve and expanding Alberta's affordable housing system. Over the next decade, our new housing strategy aimed to increase the number of the households who can access affordable housing program. We will do this by encouraging the private sector investments and through the innovative model and like a mixed income housing or a public-private partnership. This won't happen overnight, and we will make careful changes over the next 10 years and throughout these transformations. We will continue to protect the most vulnerable and make sure that they won't be left behind. I can tell you that more about this later this year when the strategies are finished and are released publicly. Today's announcement is another important step forward in our vision. Now, we will be pleased to hear Margot Heckertet, that the executive directors with the Leduc Regional Housing the Foundations. Margot, so I turn it to you and for your remarks. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Margot Hegarty, and I'm the Executive Director of Leduc Regional Housing Foundation. Leduc Regional Housing Foundation offers 5 housing solutions and programs to the citizens of the Leduc region. Now, the Leduc region is 7 municipalities. Now, if you haven't glossed over already, you will. So I'm only one management body in the province of Alberta, which has about 90 management bodies. And when you start to see 5 different programs and solutions, 7 municipalities in the small region of Leduc versus Alberta, you can see how complex it can be. Now let's talk about the individuals that are applying for this type of housing. These individuals are already in stress. They're in stress because they're in crisis. They themselves are having serious issues, or they're dealing with a loved one that's in crisis. These are individuals that are trying to figure out, do I pay my car payment or do I pay my rent? If I pay my car payment, then I will actually maybe not have a house to live in. If I pay my rent, I may lose my car, and that's my only means of getting to and from employment. Or it might be a mother or a father trying to determine, do I pay my rent or do I buy groceries for our children? And those are decisions that these individuals are making at this time and in this crisis. It could be somebody that's thinking about their grandmother and saying, how do we find a place for grandma to live so she can continue to live independently with dignity, but with a rent that she can afford? Now, where do these people go? Where do they start? Who do they talk to? How do they find out about their options? And that's what Minister Pon is announcing today. We now have a central source for all individuals that are looking for this type of housing to connect with all the operators throughout the province, and that's exciting. This actual Find Housing application is web-based, it's user-friendly, it's menu-driven, it has questions and definitions as you go through it to help you define if actually you're eligible, and it help you determine if actually it's an appropriate program for you, but even more important, if it's in the actual geographic location of your choice. Is it in your community or is it a community beside you? And that again helps them go through the process in a dignified manner and in a supportive way. And so for that, we're highly grateful, and we want to thank Minister Pon and her team members for making this happen, because it's a very positive thing for the residents of the province of Alberta. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Margot. This is exciting announcements. So that I'm so glad that the new Find Housing's online tours will make it easy for the Albertans to get the housing supports they need. So the every single households we make a difference. So thank you, everyone. And I'm going to turn it to my chief of staff, Natalie Tomczak.
Thank you very much, Minister, and thank you, Margot, for your remarks. I see we have members from the media here on the floor. If you have questions, we'll do your questions first. If you have a question, we'll do one question and then one follow-up.
Oh, okay. So, well, can you explain who this is for? Because there's different levels of looking for affordable housing, be it families or seniors or people who are completely houseless on the street involved. So who is this for?
Well, this is affordable housing for the people who have with a low income, and they are not qualify or afford the regular market rent. So that's why they have to submit the applications and see that they are eligible for this support for the affordable housing. So that is the group. And when you mentioned about the homeless, the part of the questions, that would be fall under community social service, and they have another different kind of project to have a shelter or have the different kinds of housings that provide for the homeless who are quite low income and are looking for the extra help from the government. So our departments have been working very closely with the Community Social Service and address to that group as well.
Do you have a follow-up question?
And you'd mentioned that 10-year affordable housing strategy. I'm thinking, looking all the way back to 2008, there was a plan by the Stelmach government to completely eliminate homelessness by 2019. Obviously, it was a very ambitious goal. We're not there yet. In your upcoming 10-year strategy, is the goal to end homelessness, or is it just to expand our affordable housing inventory? What's the goal with the 10-year strategy?
For our 10-year strategy housing, this is of course the part of it that how we're going to provide some housings for the homeless as well. I can get the Peter that it provides a little bit more details about that. However, the 10-year strategy plans is mainly for affordable housing, which is that we are accept the 19 recommendations from our affordable housing panel. That's a part of it, that how we're going to transform our existing affordable housing system and offer more unit and offer more that housing be fair and more accessible for Albertan. So do you have any information that provide about the homeless?
Just to echo Minister's comments, that the strategy is really focused. Again, the strategy is really focused on the part of the housing spectrum that's more permanent housing for low-income individuals, and the programs that focus on homelessness are more in the community social services realm, and they have programs and services that target that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the floor that has a question for the minister?
Madam Minister, I'm just curious as to maybe how do we address those people who may not have access to technology, those maybe seniors or other people who are a little bit leery, they don't understand really the complexities of getting on the internet. Is there a certain way that we can make sure these people don't fall through the cracks?
Good questions. As a senior minister, it's always our concern that it's a part of the group that they are not accessible to IT and technology. And of course, we always have the paper-based information available to the senior or to the people that don't have that facility or laptop or technology available for them to access those informations. And as always, that they can call our seniors and housing departments, and as well as we always have a printed hard copy for different kind of program and the service that we provided to the senior and the people that may qualify for the affordable housing or something that are looking forward to it. So that, yeah, it's always a provide that hard copy and also online. And hopefully one of these days that we are able to, we do less of paper-based, that's our target, and yeah, so that's the plan.
Do you have a follow-up? No? Does anyone else have any questions? No?
Well, I always have more. So can you explain how it works now if I'm looking for housing? Like, where would I even start if there is no central hub right now?
Okay, so when you say looking for housing, are you related to this findhousing.alberta.ca, or it just says I'm somebody come in and I'm on low income, I need some extra help, then where can I find help from the government regarding that affordable housing?
Yeah, like what was the process before there was this central hub?
Okay, before, well, what we do is, of course, they can contact our department. And quite often, the people just contact our department and say, hey, I know that there's affordable housing is available, some kinds of program benefit for the low incomes and we need some help. So our department's staff will work with the applicants and let them know that this is what is eligible for this program. So we would use either we can find it from website or we can send them some informations. So they just submit the applications, and then my staff, the departments will be review the application, each application, and of course they have to prove the income as well, make sure they qualify for the affordable housing. So that is a step. But it was from before, because after that, then my staff, they have to contact the applicants and let them know that you're eligible or you're not. If you are, now this is the process. But that's why we have this findhousing.alberta.ca, because this is much easier. All you need to do now is go into that website, and you punch your informations and, what you're looking for, your family, and all this kind of information. Maybe you can provide some little bit detail about the application. And then right away after you input all the information and answer all the questions we have. So number one is you can find where's the housing, is somewhere the community you're looking for. And second is, are you eligible for that program? That's very important, right? So that's the two easy and effective that people don't need paper-based and they can have the answer right away that are they eligible for affordable housing or they are not. So I'm going to ask Peter, and Peter's the one that in charge of this project, that I'm going to ask you to provide a little bit more detail about the process, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Minister. Sorry. Today on our website, there's a very basic search where you can put in a community and you can identify which operator serves that community. But it is very basic. And as Margaret talked about, the new Find Housing tool takes in a bit more information, tries to understand some of the household composition, some of your income information, and then tries to connect you with an operator who both is in the community you're looking in, but also serves the type of programs you may be eligible for. Mm-hmm. And so it's really an expansion of what's there today. And it also allows you to look at options across multiple providers, which isn't there today. You would just get connected to one in a community. And so we're trying to streamline connecting the citizens directly to the operators, but doing a bit of sort of screening for programs and those kind of things and making sure that we really direct them to the appropriate provider.
And the proof of income, does that come later in the process? Okay.
Yeah, so eligibility is sort of a two-step process. We take in some basic information to determine sort of high-level eligibility, and then as they get connected to an operator like Leduc Housing, they would then go through the detailed eligibility determination.
Okay. If there's no more questions, that concludes our announcement for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.